Assalamu alaikum. Hello viewers, welcome back. It's been quite a long time since we have uploaded our last video. This is because I have been quite busy with my final year thesis and projects, but now I am going to try my best to keep up with the newer videos or tutorials about Solidworks. And on behalf of one of our very close viewers, a personal request about his intention to learn SolidWorks through these videos, I am planning to start a series of videos that would guide us from the very beginning till a little bit of professionalism, and someone might just go for the authorized certifications from DSL systems, and they are CSWA and CSWP or CSWE, and we'll be discussing about those later on. Now let's just jump on to some of the introductions of SolidWorks. And besides SolidWorks, depending upon the responses we get from our viewers, we might just go for other CAD packages like CATIA or SketchUps or things like those, and we'll be trying to explain some of the mathematical reasonings or some kind of physics associated with the design considerations throughout these tutorials. Now, SolidWorks is a pretty interesting CAD interface, and CAD stands for Computer Aided Design, and is pretty much user friendly as well as it's quite robust, and you might just not only design any equipments, but also you might just go for some kind of simulations and strength analysis, design analysis, and so on. Basically, it's starting with a 2D representation of the 2D layouts of a part, and we just turn it into some kind of external dimensions to add it into Solid, and we'll be going through different types of techniques that may just be used in this software package. So let's just jump into some of the introductory things. When we start a new project, we'll see 3 default templates, and depending upon the type of design you are starting and you are willing to do, these 3 are the default built-in templates from SolidWorks, and they are part, assembly, and drawing. Part is a simple 3D representation in a single part, or you can just add some multiple parts as well. We'll be discussing about them in the following lectures. Assembly is something that when you need to assemble more than one solid parts and in some kind of functioning elements or some kind of mechanisms, motion studies, or things like those. And drawing is the representation that you need to supply for the productions. There are 2 types. There is another thing like tutorials, and these are also the similar things, and you might just add some external templates which you can define for yourself. We'll be discussing about them more details later on. And it has 2 systems. Novice means it doesn't give you the option to choose your dedicated or your designed templates, rather it's only the 3 default templates you are allowed to use. And when you click this advanced button, you just get the accessibility to use some of your own designed templates. So let's just jump into the part and just double click on it, and there is a design interface open where you can produce literally anything. So for this interactive video, we'll be just going through some of the arbitrary things. Throughout this course, we'll be trying to introduce different types of approaches made for the different types of designs, and as with this usage of different features or different tools of this software package, we'll be trying to utilize them as broad as possible, inshallah. So for the first time, let's just do something on the top plane. These are the available geometry geometrical shapes that we are allowed to use in SolidWorks, and there are some other ones as well. You can always get them from these options, and you can just edit these elements which wants to show in some other tutorials. So for the time being, we just consider these as our tools, and most likely these are the basic tools, and there are some other additional tools, but you can just get pretty much almost all the shapes using only these geometries, and mathematically these are quite well defined. So let's say we just going to draw a rectangle, a center point rectangle, and this is it. And in SolidWorks, defining in a geometry is quite important, and this is important in various aspects, but for the moment we'll be just considering the importance about machining or clearances or designs, that is the considerations that is made in producing a design in reality. So in case of definition, the basic is like the distance or some kind of relationships with the defined origin of the interface. So as we have already selected the origin as our starting point of the drawing, all we need now is to dimension the other two ones. Let's say it's 0.15, and when a line or any geometry is defined, the blue color is turned into black. That means this part is well defined, and you can just edit any kind of dimensions and even add some angular dimensions as well, depending upon your necessity. Now for that, we just show another thing, that we can control multiple elements if we add some relationships between them. So for that, now I just hit escape to get out of any command, and I just click these two lines and add an equal relationship, and now the entire thing turns black. That means that this line is dependent on this line. Now if I change this one to be 0.2 meters, the geometry automatically updates itself. So let's say now this is a 2D presentation of a sketch, and if we add another dimension, it turns into a 3D object. Adding the third dimension is primarily known as extrusion in SolidWorks. For the simplest case, it can be done through extrude base boss, and we select the sketch. Depending upon the unit system that is denoted down here, you get to choose the third dimension parameters, and it's primarily the measurement of the third dimension. So for the time being, we just go for 0.1 meters, and it gives you a certain preview, and we'll skip the other features at the moment and show them step by step throughout the course. So we just hit OK. This is just a simple block. We can zoom anything whenever we lose, or while panning or zooming something, we just get lost about the view. We just click this one, zoom to fit, and it's got back to the position that we want. So now we just hit another sketch, and you can sketch on any simple plane you wish in SolidWorks, even if it's on any kind of other objects as well. So now just draw a circle. I'll be trying to keep this tutorial as simple as possible, since it's the introductory ones, and we'll be discussing more and more on the upcoming ones sequentially about the styles and techniques. So go for another extrusion. Let's say it's the same height, and let's say we want something to be cut through this. We can do if it's a uniform hole via hole wizard features. Otherwise, if it's something that's irregular in shape, we might just go for another sketch and go for extruded cut. Extruded cut is just similar as extruded boss, but the difference is that it only removes material, and in case of extruded boss, it adds material. So now we might just go for some kind of slots. Let's say, since it's a simple elliptical one, the elliptical relationship is viewed out here, and you can adjust the things that needed from these parameters. We'll be showing them in details later on. So for the time being, I just hit OK and just go for the extruded cut. Select through all for the entire material removal. So hit OK, and we see a slot cut through all the objects. Since it's an introductory tutorial, I will be leaving this here, and in our next video we'll be discussing about some of the techniques, and in our next video I will be discussing about the basic of assembly and very basic of drawings as well in the upcoming ones. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and if you have any kind of suggestions, please comment below and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.